TNT Sports Magnificent Seven event on the weekend gone saw Denzel Bentley versus Nathan Heaney, which was pretty much the main or big fight on the card. And it was a very good British domestic clash between these two guys. Nathan Heaney, again, a big opponent. He brought a big following with him all the way from Stoke, I think. So it goes to show that he has got some good fans like behind him. And pretty much outsang Denzel Bentley's fans. I didn't really hear much, to be honest. But anyway, getting to the fight itself, this was a good fight, and it was a fight that Denzel Bentley was pretty much meant to cruise through and pretty much get the win quite comfortably, but it didn't really go to plan. And not a lot of people gave Nathan Heaney before the fight big chance, and it was the undercard and most betting as well. And the reason for this is because Denzel Bentley has been in there with you know what I mean, a lot better opposition than what Nathan Heaney has fought to date. And that's because you know what I mean, like it's mainly with the progress in their careers. Both of these guys are pretty much similar in age, but and started around the same time as well in their career. But Denzel Bentley has kind of pushed on and progressed, and he's, as I said, he's fought against some good opposition, some world level fighters. Whereas Heaney's now just pushing through to this level, and it's good to kind of see exactly where he could pretty much go from this victory over the weekend. And this victory over the weekend was pretty much set in stone from round one. And the reason why I say that is because Heaney, you know what I mean, he showed and he looked very confident and he looked up for the fight, which I feel as if was the difference between him and Denzel Bentley. He also looked the bigger man in the ring as well, and he started the fight very fast. Whereas Bentley, for me, again, was the opposite. He was very lethargic, too relaxed, and too comfortable. And he literally was just looking for that one big shot, or like throughout the whole of the fight, which wasn't good because this allowed Nathan Heaney to gain and build confidence early on. And he was banking a lot of the early rounds as well, which for Nathan Heaney was good because obviously he was the underdog. So if he's banking a lot of these early rounds and he's building and he's gaining confidence as the fight progressed, it made things a little bit easier for him at times. Because again, you could see as through rounds 8 and 9, etc., his hands were down, his movement, his footwork was brilliant. But yeah, for me, this fight was pretty much set in stone from the earlier rounds, and just watching it, I felt that pretty much from the halfway point that Heaney was quite well ahead by at least two, maybe 3 rounds, give or take at that point. And it's quite weird because what I feel that Heaney did very well was that he established his dominance in the middle of the ring, and he looked to trade with Bentley. You know what I mean? He just stood there at times and throwing threes and fours and sometimes six punch combinations, straight punches. But he was prepared to stand and trade with Bentley, and he come off like the victor because Bentley at times just couldn't really throw his hands, couldn't really let anything go, and by the time Denzel Bentley did let his hands go, Nathan Heaney was gone. His speed, his movement, the basic jab, which I keep coming back to, which is key in boxing. Nathan Heaney's jab was brilliant, and it was the key between him and Bentley because he just kept Bentley at range throughout the fight, and Bentley couldn't handle it. But Bentley did have success, and even though he had success, it just wasn't consistent. And sometimes I felt as if, let's say, if Bentley was winning the rounds, and I was thinking, you know what, Bentley's doing really well here. Nathan Heaney would come back and he would outwork him to finish the round, and looked as if he was maybe the stronger fighter in that round. And to the judges, this could pretty much sway the decision to his way because Bentley was obviously doing well in the earlier parts because it's a 3 minute round, so Bentley could do well for maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but Heaney would just look the stronger fighter for that last minute or 90 seconds and potentially drag the decision from the judges and bank the round, which is a good tactic to be fair. But Yeah, very good competitive fight between these two guys. And it'd be interesting to see where both of these guys where both of these guys go going forward. But one thing I found quite interesting throughout the fight is the information that both boxers were receiving from their cornermen and the energy as well. And the reason why I say this is because Nathan Heaney's cornermen, you know what I mean, they provided him with brilliant information, and they, you know what I mean, they gave him the energy that he needed. And I wasn't really getting this vibe from Denzel Bentley. So that's something which potentially could maybe sway the fight at times, because the boxer needs that encouragement. You know what I mean? For example, Denzel Bentley's cornerman or his trainer could have said, "Look, I need you to utilize your jab a lot more. I need you to work a lot more." You know what I mean? Especially during the earlier rounds, after round two, three, because you could clearly see that you know what I mean, his jab was non-existent, and his work rate was very poor because he was just looking for the big right hand, because he just maybe felt, I don't know, maybe felt as if he was the bigger puncher in the fight. I don't know. But what he did do well at times was when he did use his jab, Denzel Bentley, it looked good. And it looked as if it was causing Nathan Heaney a little bit of trouble, but it just wasn't consistent. As I said earlier, it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough work rate, and that's for me the reason why he lost the fight. But that's my thoughts. You know what I mean? I thought it was a good competitive fight, and realistically, I'd like to see a rematch, but I can't see this happening anytime soon. I feel as if it was a very, very good deserved victory for Nathan Heaney. He is a good prospect now, you know what I mean, against some of these bigger middleweights. But there's also some good British domestic clashes there for him. So it'd be quite interested to see exactly where he pretty much goes himself, because obviously he is now the British champion, British middleweight champion, sorry. So it'd be interesting to see which route he wants to go down. And there was talks that the winner will potentially get a world title shot next year. Currently, the man in the division is Janabek. He's got two of the four, and then you got Lara and Charlo. I think I'm not sure if Charlo's been stripped, but anyway, they're pretty much the champions. So it'd be quite interesting to see which route maybe Frank Warren puts him through. But domestically, again, you got people like Eubank, you got Hamza Shiraz as well, Liam Smith, even Liam Williams is still around, still doing little bits, and also the rematch. Anyway, Bentley on the other hand, he would obviously want he obviously wants to try and set things right. So the rematch would be his ideal solution, but I can't see Frank Warren doing that, and Heaney not straight away. If Heaney loses his next fight, then maybe that they'll probably pursue the rematch. But what Bentley could potentially do is try and rebuild himself. Maybe try and target maybe a European title or some fringe world level fighters, and try and climb the rankings, and maybe put himself forward for a shot in the future. But let me know your thoughts, guys, about this fight. I felt as if it was a very good competitive fight between these two guys. Let me know your thoughts if you thought it was the same. And who would you like Nathan Heaney to go up against next? And Denzel Bentley, who would you like him to challenge next as well? As always, please subscribe, comment, bless.